Hello folks, this is Dave Lentz. I'm here to tell you about my new novel. There it is, Rao's Solution. Um, it's new. It's a story of international intrigue. It's fast-paced. It's political. It talks about some of the important issues that are raised today, all in the context of an espionage thriller complete with an assassination attempt. Um, and first of all, I'm going to deliver this basically explanation of the book in two parts. I don't want to give away the end, so the second one is designed to basically explain some of the deeper purpose of the book and the more serious points that the book tries to make. The first part here is to basically give you all the sugar, so to speak, and why it's fun and interesting to read, regardless of the level that you want to read the book on. Um, I'm a lawyer and a former business instructor, business school instructor at the university level. I taught finance and international business and accounting. I've practiced law for close to 40 years now. And in any event, I know a little bit about what I'm talking when it comes to international trade and stuff like that. But in any event, the book here it's a novel, it's fiction, it starts out basically, it discusses, or what doesn't discuss, the whole backdrop of the book is set up because of global warming, and Georgetown, which is the capital of Guyana, sits below sea level, and the levees that keep the ocean out from Georgetown are starting to break down. This causes the President Karamchand Rao, who is the president of Guyana. Guyana sits on the north coast of South America, and it's not that far from the Panama Canal. And he starts negotiating with the Chinese to build, they want to put a naval base in there if they're going to help him rebuild his flood wall. Um, Meanwhile, President Rao has also implemented a new wage reform law to help reduce the disparity in incomes between rich paid CEOs and average workers in his country. This sort of gets him in a little hot water with some of the unappreciative powers that be in Guyana, and there's an assassination attempt. So one of the things in the book is whether or not rogue CIA agent Pete Sanchez, who's down there in South America. One question is, do you have anything to do with the assassination attempt? After all, this situation creates some problems for the United States. Meanwhile, back in New York City, there's this gentleman by the name of Paul Earl, and he's a TV producer, and he's been asked to start a game show that's supposed to help indigent, poor contestants during the Christmas holiday season. So he sets out to have this game show, and it's going to have an interesting twist because it pits rich guest stars who have a lot of name recognition, one of whom you may recognize in the book. But one of the rich guest stars and the poor contestants. But one of the interesting things about the book, and maybe you can figure it out without any explanation, is why does this game, which is supposed to give everybody an equal chance of winning, and it demonstratively does so, why does it always end up seeming to benefit and further enrich the rich guest stars who are already rich, and not the poor contestants, the people that the game show was designed to help? In any event, Paul happens to he develops a love interest for one of his first contestants, who is a waitress at a Guyanese tavern in New York City. Her name is Maria, and they sort of develop a little bit of a fling. Now, Paul has an estranged wife, Alexa, at home, and they have a child by the name of Chris, who's in college, but who is a member of a fraternity called the Omegas. And the goings on that the Omegas seem to participate in, they always seem to have a political slant on anything, and they're very aggressive in attacking government generally, and they're very interested in fair wages. In any event, so there's a question in the book of who are these Omegas, how are they going to get Chris in trouble, and are Paul and Alexa, his wife, going to be able to rein him in and keep him in college and all that kind of stuff. But in the meantime, Paul's got this affair going with Maria. And lo and behold, Pete Sanchez, the rogue CIA agent, he escapes from Guyana back to New York. And now he's chased by this character named Naughty Rude, who is head of Guyanese counterintelligence, and he chases Pete back to New York. Well, Maria has eyes for Pete. And so that one of the big questions is Naughty Rude going to catch Pete Sanchez, and who's Maria going to choose? Is she going to choose Paul Earl or Pete? And there's a big brouhaha about that. So the question is who's going to come out on top in that relationship? And what about Paul and Alexa? Are they going to be able to ever reconcile or whatever? So all this is against the backdrop of government that has a lot of snooping ability, internet-wise, questions about Orwellian type big government intrusion into privacy. They know a lot more than they should know in the story. And so all these questions arise, and against this backdrop is sort of this question of fair wage law, and Chris seems to get more involved than he otherwise should be in some wage protests. In any event, I hope to see you at the bookstore. If you want to find out some of the more detailed points about the more serious implications for the fight for workers for fair pay, and the struggle to to avoid a situation where a plutocracy would arise in this country, tune into the second video, and in any event, I will see you at the bookstore. I'm David Lentz. The book is Rao's Solution. There it is. And thanks for listening. Bye.